Holy shit is all I'm saying. I have had Flash and Booga for 5 or 6 months, and Puff Daddy, which maybe isn't a daddy, has been in the tank probably a little over 2 months, and I was convinced I had all boys. I was convinced. This is actually somewhat upsetting because I didn't want any egg sacs to have to deal with. I didn't want baby mystery snails. Now I'm going to have to deal with it. And I haven't made up my mind on what to do yet. But that's the first egg sac. And I'm pretty sure that it's Puff Daddy that laid them. I can't believe this. And then there's Booga. Maybe Booga's the daddy. They look like the same color right now. Booga is blue. Puff Mama is olive. And then there's Flash down there in the bush. He got a new plant in there, so he's got to check it out. He's sleeping by himself, so I'm guessing it's these two are responsible for the egg sac. I'm pretty upset. It's a beautiful looking sac. It was not there yesterday. I kind of want to cry. I liked the fact that I had 3 boys. But clearly I do not. I was cooking breakfast when I found the sack, just peeking in because I'd taken the lid off. I take the lid off every morning, turn the overhead light on. That's when I discovered this. So yeah, I was mid-bacon cooking when I made that first clip. And I sat down to eat my breakfast and watch a documentary on jellyfish. And I could not finish the documentary nor my breakfast because I was so upset at finding the egg sac. But as you can tell, I have placed a little piece of styrofoam over the corner of the tank where the sac is to shield it from the overhead light so it doesn't get too warm or dry out. Because I've decided to go ahead and keep this sac. Because the truth is, I'm not going to learn about these animals I've become totally fascinated in love with if I don't actually do it. And I don't actually experience it. I can watch it all day on other people's channels and videos, but there's nothing like first-hand knowledge. So that tells me, that, here, let's take that cover off a little bit. That clearly, in all this time I've had these guys, in all these months, my tank must not have been the appropriate parameters for them to breed. Yesterday, I've been noticing some problems in my tank, and one of the things I noticed I was missing was probably some potassium and magnesium. I haven't tested for them, but just seeing things in the plants and in the animals. So I went to the fish store and I got a bottle of trace elements, and I added that yesterday. And not only did I add that, but I added the a cup of rooibos tea that has a bit of a raspberry blend in it. I couldn't get just the plain red bush only. 4 stores I went to yesterday. Only found the one. And it was a blend. So I did do 2 new things yesterday, and I don't know which one could have been, I don't know, maybe the catalyst for this sac. But I am pretty convinced that it's actually Puff Daddy that laid the sac, and that's, I guess I'm gonna have to start calling her a she now. And that's because she eats all the time. I mean, I'm not joking. If there's food in the dish, she's down there, first down there, she's eating it. And maybe, I don't know, maybe the last couple months she's been in this tank, she hasn't gotten enough to eat, or the water's not been right, perfect for her to breed. I don't know. I am upset. I didn't want sacks. I didn't want them. I thought about how lucky was I. Cover that back up so it doesn't get too warm. I thought, how lucky was I that I ended up scoring 3 boys on my first go. Because these are my first snails ever of any kind. And I was really nervous when I put Puff Daddy in the tank because she was originally in her own tank with some ghost shrimp. But she was just too big for that. So I quarantined her when she got sick. And the 10-gallon with Flash and Booga was the only tank I had available or adequate in size for her. So when I put her in here, I watched like a hawk every day for weeks because I was praying and praying that she wasn't a girl. And when nothing ever happened, I was doing the happy dance all around the house thinking, wow, I don't know how many people can say they're so lucky. So I'm going to let these little guys hatch, explore, experience, try to understand the process that I'm seeing. I mean, I know the science behind it, but to watch it is very different. And further my knowledge on mystery snails with these little guys. And when they get big enough to pull out of the tank, I will most likely take them down to my local fish store and hand them over as either feeders or resell pets. So that's the decision. I'm not super happy about it, and I think that's just mostly because I'm not prepared for a bunch of babies that are going to get pretty big. 10-gallon is the biggest tank I have, and 10-gallon was as big as I was intending on going until I could get a really good grip on the hobby. Wow, this is just blowing my mind. I can't believe I have an egg sac in my tank. So, Tom, yeah, you're going to have to find a new name for the mother of eggs.